Okay, students, let's get on with chapter number 1, cell structure and organization. This chapter is all about cells, how they are differentiated, how many types are there, what are the structure present in the cell, and what do they do. I hope you have gone through the detailed contents of this chapter that I provided you with. So formally we are starting this chapter today. First, we will see what is a cell. Cell can be defined as structural and functional unit of life. It can be described as a basic unit of life, building block of life, or the smallest structure capable to perform all the function necessary for life. Next is our cell theory. These are the facts that the different scientists went through different experiments and came up with these generalized statements. What they proved and observed that all organisms are made up of one or more cells. So if an organism is made up of only one cell, you will call it a unicellular organism, while if it has many cells like us, we'll be calling them as multicellular organism. The smallest organisms are single cells. It means that a cell can survive individually and independently without being dependent upon anything else. Cells are the functional units of multicellular organism, and cells that are existing are coming from pre-existing cells. What does this statement means really? The structural and functional unit of life. It means that a cell has a structure and as well it also has a specific function. Okay, now we have to get on with what the cell is made up of. Cell is made up of protoplasm. Protoplasm is the living matter, a jelly-like substance in which all the chemical activities are being carried out in your body. It consists of 70 to 90% of water. The rest consists of mineral ions and organic compounds, mostly carbon compounds. We call them carbohydrates. Then there are fats and proteins. Its composition varies from animal to animal and from plant to plant depending upon their species or depending upon their kind. But all these cells will contain two things. One protoplasm type is sol, which is in liquid state, while the other type of the protoplasm or state or physical form of protoplasm is gel state, which is a semi-solid kind of a material. Now we have to define what protoplasm is. Protoplasm is living matter, that's the literal definition, but what does it mean really? It is a combination of three things: cell surface membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. I am sure that you have gone through the general structure of cell in your previous classes. You know about cell membrane, right? Cell membrane is a partially permeable membrane which is bounding the cell. Nucleus is the head of the cell. It's where all the activities of the cells are being carried out. Then there is cytoplasm, where most of the chemical reactions are taking place, and when we combine these three, we get to have protoplasm. Let's go through the cytoplasm definition. It's a jelly-like substance. It would contain all the enzymes required for all the biochemical activities that have to go into it. There is nucleus. We'll go through this organelle later on. I have used a term organelle. Organelle means all the structures that are present inside the cell, like nucleus, like vacuole, like chloroplast, like mitochondria. All these structures that you have heard about are present inside the cell and hence are called subcellular structures. Subcellular structure or organelle. I will go through this topic again. Okay, now we have to learn about types of cells. So cells can be differentiated or can be grouped in by using different definitions. Here I have classified into two groups. One is called undifferentiated cells and the other one is called differentiated cells. Let's look upon undifferentiated cells first. These are also called stem cells. What these are the cells that yet have to develop some particular functions or specific role to play. It means that stem cells do not have a specific function to perform. They are there as a storehouse of your cell. If your body requires cells of your nervous system, they will become the cells of your nervous system. If they are required in your digestive tract, they will acquire the specific function of the cells of your digestive tract. If they are required in your eyes or in your skin, but wherever the cells are required, these stem cells will differentiate into specialized cells. So before that, they are simply undifferentiated. They are not qualified to perform any specific function, and these are also called as stem cells. Where they are present, the very first few cells which are present in the embryo are considered to be undifferentiated cells. Keep in mind, boys, that these cells do not have specified structures in them to perform any function, that they do not have fully developed organelles to perform specific functions. What are differentiated cells then? These are the cells that do have a specific function and they do have mature structures in them to perform those functions. For example, your muscle cells. Muscle cells are there to contract and relax and provide movement, so they have a special role to perform. That's why we are going to call them differentiated cells or cells with specialized function. Now I have divided the cells on the basis of their presence. They can be animal cells, they can be plant cells. Animal cells example include your RBCs, red blood cells, WBCs, which are white blood cells, sperm cells, epithelium cells, goblet cells, neurons, nephrons, muscle cells, and many others. Boys, don't get confused with the names of these cells. You might be familiar with a few and might not be with the others. We will go through them in our later chapters. Plant cells include the example of mesophyll cells, epidermal cells, root hair cells, and guard cells, and many others. This is the generalized animal cell. It is showing you different organelles. Now consider the inside of the cell. If I cut it down, I see many structures present in it. The outermost covering of the cell is called cell membrane. This is the cell membrane which is bounding the organelles into the cell. Now let's come to nucleus first. This is the place or the organelle which controls all the activities of the cell. What does it contain? It contains nucleolus, and it also contains genetic material which is not labeled in the diagram, but obviously I will go through that organelle too. I will let you know what it does and what its role in the cell is. Then there are ribosomes. These are small granular structures present in the cytoplasm. Then there are other organelles called rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Don't get worried with their dangerous and horrible names. These are very easy to learn once you will learn their function. It will be easy for you to connect the structure with the function. For right now, you just have to remember the names. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, if you see here on the structure, ribosomes are attached to these structures. That's why they are called rough. While the smooth endoplasmic reticulum do not have attached ribosomes. That's why they are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then there are centrioles. These centrioles are involved in cell division. I will again go through the details of all these organelles again. These are rod-like structures present just beside the nucleus. Then there are Golgi bodies. These are involved in cell excretion. Then there are lysosomes. These are cells involved in digestion. These are not cells actually, these are organelles. This is the mitochondrion. This is the powerhouse of the cell. It is responsible to generate energy in the cell. why the cell needs the energy. There are multiple biochemical reactions going on in the cell which require energy. Then you can see cytoplasm here. I just defined cytoplasm. It's a jelly-like material which is a component of protoplasm, and all the biochemical reactions are happening here in the cytoplasm. These are nucleopores. Nucleopores are the pores in the structure of nucleus. In your A levels, you will learn that these nucleopores are very important to transfer some material from nucleus to outside the cell. Obviously, this is not the part of O level syllabus, so I won't be going into the detail. Boys, again, I'm telling you that I will go through all these organelles again with the details.